Hi, Mark Diaz for 3danimation101.com. In this lesson, I'm gonna explain a very simple three-step process that you can apply to get very organic animation. In the last lesson, I mentioned that I was going to teach you step by step how to get good timing, right? Well, just before we get into that tutorial, you're gonna get this one in which I explain the basis of the next one, in which I'm gonna give you step by step. I'm gonna provide you project files. I'm gonna provide you with everything. But first, you need to understand this very simple concept of the three steps to create organic character movement. Okay? So let's get it started. Probably the most frustrating part of doing character animation is getting your characters to look alive, right? You try to put some keyframes here and there, and yet your character looks weird, unnatural. You cannot explain exactly what is it, but it looks weird. For example, let's take this character, Phillip, that comes with the software Cartoon Animator 4. You see him, and let's say we want to get him from that pose to this other key pose. I can just add a keyframe for each movement, and that's it, right? Super easy. Well, that will give me an animation like this. It's not the worst thing ever, but it looks fake. Why? Well, first of all, it's what we covered in the last lesson. It looks organic. It doesn't look alive. It doesn't look organic. It looks uncomfortable. If I'm gonna point to myself, I'm not gonna do it like the character. I'm not gonna do this. I never do that. If you point to yourself, you don't go like this. This movement, this arm, look, from here to here is very weird. Nobody does it. How do you do it? You do it like this. Okay, so that's the first thing I do. If I'm gonna do this, I do not very weird. Okay, so that is the main thing. But again, it's not the worst thing ever, but it looks fake. Why? Because it's uncomfortable and it has no personality. This was the big discovery in the 1930s when the 12 principles of animation were starting in Walt Disney, in the Disney studios. Characters with no personality were dull, uninteresting. They were boring to watch, and people stopped watching them. So if you want people to stop watching your animations, then use this crappy formula. Put a keyframe on a point and then go to another part of the timeline and put another keyframe, and you got a crappy animation. Good for you. Congratulations. Now, what if you want to create something interesting to watch? What if you wanted to give Phillip some personality? What if you wanted to create something like this? Well, that will require you to think very differently in terms of animation. For this result, you need to apply a three simple step process. Instead of having your character go from point A to point B straight away, which makes it look crappy, you need to have three steps to make it look like this. Those three simple steps are the AAA: anticipation, action, and aftermath. You see, the reason why the bad animation looks bad is because it only has the action. And if you notice, the better version has anticipation, has action, and aftermath. Let's see it step by step. The bad animation has the initial pose, the action, and the end pose. And that's it. That's why it sucks. Now, the better version looks like this. It has an initial pose, just like the other one, but this one has a little anticipation for the action. He's preparing to do this move. Then the action, pointing to himself, and aftermath. He bounces a little bit. And finally, the end pose. That little anticipation and aftermath is what makes this character look alive. That, and also animating the arms in the correct way. Instead of this, he goes like this, the arms are going towards the camera in front of me, not the side like this. Okay, so you get all of this. I'm gonna teach you how to do all of this in the next lesson. Okay, so what do you need for an organic movement? Just remember, don't do the action alone. That makes it boring. Do anticipation before it and aftermath after the action. So it's anticipation, action, aftermath. That will make your character look alive. Now the question is, yeah, all of this sounds good in theory, right? But how the heck do you apply all of this? How do you create the perfect timing for it? The perfect animation, the perfect keyframes, the perfect little positions? Instead of this, how do you do the arm to go forward like that? Well, all of that is going to be answered in the next couple of lessons, so stay tuned. I will provide you with project files that you can download to follow along. Until next time, this is Mark Diaz for 2danimation101.com. Take care.